Hello, Fushi Duck here. I finally got a microphone that fucking works, and I finally figured out how to operate this GeForce Experience gobbledygook where they automatically, for some fucked up reason, default your uh, microphone settings as the same track as your music on, which is pretty fucked up and retarded. It should be on a separate, your voice should be on a separate soundtrack from the computer system and the game sounds and all of the music and sound effects or whatever the fuck. So now I can finally voice over games again like I did before, only this time in the screen. I mean in the game rather than trying to put a camera up or all that crap. So we're gonna go through, set this up, and well, I've already set it up actually. So if you use Alchemy, you can use the X3. I mean, if you have a creative sound card. The thing about creative sound cards, you have to download other software. I got the Sound Blaster AE5, and it's kind of a stripped down version. The software, I mean, it's a the software is stripped down from what it was when I had like an Audigy and those kind of things. They had some pretty fancy. They had like smart recorder and all this stuff. You could set your microphone up and all this. So this does come with Alchemy though. So if you have any kind of a Sound Blaster card, you should be able to get Alchemy, and you should be able to get the thing to play proper EAX environmental effects. Like if you're in a mine, your voice will sound a certain way and all this kind of stuff. Different than it does when you're in a city or outer space. It's a lot better. It's a very subtle effect, but it works. So if my voice is not cyberfied, but that happens because you turn on what you hear, which is positively criminal, that Creative Labs has that defaulted to turn on because it echoes and your voice and your music echo, and your stupid computer picks everything up and makes it sound like a fucking Cyberman. I'm going to start the game. We play a male Jedi Guardian. I've played the Sentinel. I haven't played the Counselor yet. Not really my style, but I may, if I play the others all the way through, I may try Counselor later on. Counselor, actually, not Counselor. There's a difference. So I'm going to play a male Jedi Guardian, focus on combat training and lightsaber mastery. This is like the Force Jump and the Jedi Weapon Specialization. You can go and become a Grand Weapon Master in it's a sort of an elite class. Sentinels are also interesting. They have a special class that they can play that allows them to practically become invisible and use stealth even when they're running. And they also gain the most experience of all the classes. They can do all kind of things. And then the counselors are like mages. That music's very annoying. They're like a wizard class equivalent of like this has got the Dungeons and Dragons AD&D rules. 3rd edition basically, except it has force powers, which makes it special and stands off comparison to just your run-of-the-mill AD&D game. I'm going to play a Jedi Guardian male, focus on combat training. Custom character. And get started here. Okay, this is just your special ability. You're not special, but your natural abilities that apply. This is your base abilities that apply to everything you do in the game. Intelligence gives you skill, but let's see what happens if we skill. So look at this. So I'm going to go ahead and okay. So obviously, if you have a 16 intelligence, you can get 4 more points to put into persuade, and I generally think that's a good idea. Let's see. So I'll take over the wisdom. You don't really need wisdom as a guardian. You don't use force powers a lot, except the friendly ones that are, unless you're going to be an evil guardian, then you would use only the bad ones. But they're sort of a backup plan to your, more of a fighting Jedi, like your lightsabers and your laser guns and so forth. So we're going to have intelligence 16. Very important attribute for all the classes. And especially your skills that aren't cross-class skills. So we'll put into Persuade, which is only the main character can even use this skill. It's pointless to put in other characters. Awareness gives you the ability to notice traps before you enter them. Like if you're running, or even if you're not running, to notice enemies before they attack you, so you can either ambush them or avert them altogether. Demolitions is something I always neglected before, but I'm not going to neglect it anymore. For use for disarming mines, and there's a lot of places where you just can't get around it without setting off a mine if you don't have demolitions, even if you have someone else with a demolition skill. Like in this game, a lot of times you spend a lot of time solo, so it's better to be a physical character. Treat injury. Treat injury is important, so these are good skills, okay. Feats are like special abilities. Some feats allow you to use special items like heavy armor. Other feats modify saving throws and skill checks during the game, and some feats are used during combat. Check the description details of each feat. So as a Guardian, we get all of the martial skills, combat skills, like basically like a soldier. You get up to medium armor efficiently, critical strike, flurry, and power attack. Those are the melee feats. You also get power blast, rapid shot, sniper, all for free. Those are the ranged feats. You get weapon persistency in all the weapons except heavy weapons, I think, including the lightsaber as a Jedi Guardian and the melee weapons. You get Jedi defense, force jump. When you get a lightsaber, this won't work without a lightsaber. Jedi sense and war veteran. War veteran gives you quite a number of hit points. Apparently you were like a bodyguard for Revan, I'm guessing. Last time I played. I didn't play all the way through, but you're an amnesia who forgot who he was, but originally you were a bodyguard for Darth Revan, who also forgot who he was. He usually deal with two-weapon fighting. I wish that music would shut up. Two-weapon fighting is a useful feat for all of the characters to have, and definitely for my main character if he's going to be a Guardian or a Sentinel. Let's see. I wouldn't waste too much time on cross-class, where the feats that remove the cross-class. I wouldn't waste any time with those, or a waste. You're not a soldier, so you're going to be pretty starved for feats no matter what class you choose. Even a Guardian doesn't have much more in the way of feats than the Sentinel or the Counselor. So we're going to do conditioning. Actually, the robots are wimps, so let's choose toughness as our first feat. This will give you an extra vitality point every time you level up. It's always nice to start with that one. And then we'll go with two-weapon fighting later when we need it. We'll choose them as needed. I don't need some of these right now. And I've already got power attack and critical strike and the ranged equivalents of those. Okay. Darl Triss. Let's use my username. Who, she, duck. One word. So, play. Make sure you can always like to review this just for fun. It'd be nice to also screenshot this, have a character sheet or whatever before you start the game, but that would mean flipping out of the screen, and that can really mess this game up if you flip into the desktop. Our will save is not really necessary as a Guardian. Reflex and fortitude are very important, as is defense and vitality. Your hit points will be determined based on your constitution. That's the Nar Shaddaa start. The music in Nar Shaddaa is the starting theme for this. I'm not really sure why they started with that.
The Ebon Hawk is adrift in space after a terrible battle. Most of its crew are dead or dying. You lie in the medical room in critical condition. You won't survive long without medical attention. The hyperdrive is damaged. Main power must be restored in order to bring the engines online and dock with the nearby Peragus mining station. But much needs to be repaired. Your fate and that of the Ebon Hawk depend upon T3M4, a lone astromech droid. Return to this location at any time to skip the prologue.
Okay, we're gonna go ahead and do the prologue because just for the sake of role playing, and I am a hopeless romantic when it comes to role playing a game, and also this is a good story for the droid, and to teach new players how to play the game, or get somewhat people who don't know even what this game is familiar with what it is. And it's not actually a bad game, so it's not as bad as it's made out to be by the reviews. And as usual, my keyboard is locked out, so I can't even push the fucking number 1. There we go.
Press WASD to move T3M4, then turn. Press caps lock to toggle first person preload.
Apparently my keyboard has been locked out. I don't know what the fuck's going on here. My mouse was locked out a while ago. Now my keyboard's locked out, so I can't do anything. I can't even stop the fucking video. So let's stand by. Okay, apparently when I stopped the recording and saved the recording, for some fucking reason the keyboard activated again. So now we have all this stuff. The WASD keys, you know, you can use them to turn your character with whatever character you're controlling, or you can use the mouse. And to save, like, if you're worried about carpal tunnel syndrome or that kind of crap, you can just alternate hands or whatever, you know. So, so there's your caps lock. Will give you a first-person view. You can't move, but you can look around. And then the droid sees in black and white. The other one sees in amber. The humans see, well, just like you'd see here, except you're seeing in first person. Sometimes that can be useful, I guess, for perspective shots. If you want to see a detail you're missing, or maybe you just want to look at some pretty sight on some space station or something, you can hit the arrow keys to set your course to wherever you're going to go. Right now there's only 2 options. That this half blown up planet asteroid, whatever it is, that the Ebon Hawk didn't quite make it to, and we have to use the hyperdrive to go this little bit of space between here and I don't know, 3 million miles or whatever, because you can see the Peragus planet from certain perspectives, like in the open where the hull is breached in the ship, and it's pretty cool when you go outside. And people are spoiled now, but in 2004 this is a pretty damn cool game, I think. The Ebon Hawk cannot dock with the Peragus mining facility until main power has been restored. So all we gotta do is restore main power. That will involve active question screen includes important information related to your ongoing adventures. Refer to the journal for hints and guidance throughout the game.
You have new quests. To view your quest,
So go to the journal. That's just kind of an open book thing with a question mark on it. Or you can use J. The Ebon Hawk is heavily damaged and adrift in a dangerous asteroid field. Find the hyperdrive and fix it to restore primary power so you can dock with the Peragus mining station for repairs. Fushidek is laying in med bay, that's the main character, in critical condition. You can use a med pack to stabilize his vitals. To fully revive Fushidek will require the medical facility of the Peragus mining station. Go to message log. You can read messages, combat logs, dialogue logs, you know, anything, feedback, like non-combative feedback, effects. So, bludgeon damage, where did that come from? Power surge damages for damages what? Oh, I don't even care. Okay.
Open the game menu, default this game, and look in the journal, default.
So you can test your settings and save a game. Don't tell me what the hell happened here. Of course, she's saying default because you can change those settings.
Beyond this door is the main hall beneath the clock. This door appears to be locked down due to a fault.
There's a knocking,
There's an emergency
and that's that
somewhere in
evil, well, programmed to be evil, one of those
this room contains
stand-up droids, the humanoid type droids. I forget what they're called, but the evil version of another one that you fix later on, which isn't exactly a nice guy either. Okay, so you can target it easier than that by hitting Q. You can hit enter. You don't have to use the mouse for this. It saves your hand. Plastic seal. You can use Q or E to target, reverse target. You can use C to walk sideways, or Z. You can use, the regular controls, Watts controls around, or you can quickly move by holding the right mouse button down and quickly turn about as you move, and hold the left mouse button down to go forward, which is the best way to do it, I think. So we got a computer station. This is the communications room, chamber, module, whatever.